What if the love you've been searching for is already yours? What if right now there's a man who's more in love with you than even he understands? See, here's the painful truth. Sometimes men fall deeply without realizing it. They feel it in their bones, in their heartbeat, in their silence, but their minds haven't caught up yet. And while you're sitting there wondering, does he even care? He's already thinking about you more than he admits, missing you more than he can explain, and loving you in ways he's too scared to confess. But here's where it gets dangerous. If you can't see the signs, you might walk away. You might give up on something that's quietly growing inside him right now. Because he won't always say it. He won't always show it the way you expect. Love for men often hides in the spaces between their words, their small sacrifices, their protective instincts, their silent loyalty, and most women miss it. But you won't. Not after this. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot the unmistakable signs that he's already in love with you, whether he realizes it or not. These signs are subtle, they're powerful, and once you see them, you'll never again wonder where you stand in his heart. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll know the truth he hasn't even told himself yet. Let's begin. When a man is more in love with you than he realizes, his words may hesitate, but his body rarely lies. You don't have to wait for him to tell you how he feels, because his unconscious actions are already speaking volumes. He may think he's keeping it all together, but his body language betrays him in the most honest, beautiful ways. It's in the way his eyes find you in a crowded room, not just once, but over and over, as if his gaze is magnetically pulled toward you. It's not the quick glances or casual looks. It's those stolen moments when he watches you like you're the most fascinating thing he's ever seen. And when you catch him, he'll pretend he wasn't looking, but he was, because something inside him is drawn to you even if he hasn't fully realized it. His entire body shifts when you're near. His feet point toward you, his shoulders turn in your direction, and he leans in when you speak, often without knowing it. Even when he's engaged in conversation with others, his posture is tilted toward you, because you've already become his anchor in the room. His body naturally gravitates toward what it desires most. And no matter how hard he tries to mask it, these physical instincts reveal the depth of his connection to you. Sometimes he steps closer when you laugh. Sometimes he lingers near you longer than necessary. These aren't accidents, they're silent admissions of where his heart is. What's even more telling is the protective instinct that takes over without his permission. He'll naturally place himself between you and potential discomfort. Whether it's guiding you across a busy street, walking on the traffic side of the sidewalk, or gently steering you through a crowded space. He's not trying to make a statement. His body is simply reacting to a deep, unspoken need to keep you safe. It's effortless, it's instinctual, and it's incredibly revealing. Even before his mind can fully process what he feels, his actions are already telling the story. He may fidget around you and you might notice it if you're paying close attention. He adjusts his sleeves, runs his hand through his hair, touches his face, taps his fingers, tiny movements that signal his nervous energy. It's not because you make him uncomfortable. It's because you make him feel something he's not used to feeling. You activate a part of him that feels both thrilling and unsettling. His nervous system can't stay completely calm in your presence, because you affect him more than he wants to admit, even to himself. Then there's the mirroring, one of the deepest unconscious signals of emotional closeness. He'll start to subtly copy your movements, your gestures, even your speech patterns. If you tilt your head, he may tilt his. If you cross your arms, moments later he might do the same. He doesn't know he's doing this. It's his subconscious pulling him closer to you, creating alignment, building trust without words. His body is syncing with yours because emotionally he's already invested. His smile gives everything away. It's not just a polite smile, it's the soft, genuine smile that appears simply because you're around. Sometimes you'll see it when you're not even saying anything particularly funny or interesting. He's just happy to be near you. His smile lingers, and it lights up his face in a way that feels unfiltered and real. He'll find excuses to touch you, in the smallest, most respectful ways. A light touch on your back, a playful nudge, a gentle brush of his hand against yours. These aren't just casual gestures. They're the ways his body reaches for you when his heart is still catching up. The truth is, no matter how hard he tries to hold back his feelings, his body will always speak first. If you learn to watch carefully, you'll realize his love has already slipped out, long before he ever says it. There are moments when he thinks about you, moments that flood his mind without warning, but he never says it out loud. It's not because he doesn't want to. It's because he doesn't always understand the depth of what's happening inside him. Sometimes his thoughts of you slip in during the quietest parts of his day, when his guard is down and he's not busy convincing himself he's in control. You show up in the little spaces he never expected you to fill. Maybe it's when he hears a song and suddenly you're there. You might not even know it's your favorite song or a song you once mentioned, but it plays and his mind drifts to you like it's the most natural thing in the world. Or maybe he's walking past a coffee shop you love, and out of nowhere, he imagines what it would feel like to sit there with you, just the two of you, sharing quiet moments that no one else gets to see. The truth is, he thinks about you when he's not supposed to. When he's busy, when he's out with friends, when he's trying to focus on something else. Your name pops into his head like a whisper, like a soft pull that keeps bringing him back to you. And he won't say it. He might act normal. He might keep the conversation light. But inside, you're taking up space he didn't realize was available. There are times when he starts to type a message to you, just to tell you something small, something meaningless to anyone else. But somehow it feels important to share with you. Then he stops. He erases. He talks himself out of sending it because he doesn't understand why he feels the need to tell you everything. But that moment matters, because in that brief hesitation, he revealed his instinct. You're becoming his person, the one he wants to run to first. When he's having a good day, you cross his mind. When he's having a bad day, you cross his mind. He might wonder what you would say, how you would understand him, how your voice would make things better. And though he may never tell you this directly, it's happening again and again, without his permission. Even in the middle of his most ordinary routines, you appear. He's at the gym and he thinks about what music you'd play if you were there. He's out shopping and he notices something you might like. He's making dinner and for a second he imagines what it would be like to cook for you. These aren't grand, earth-shaking moments. They're simple, but they're real, and they're his quiet confession. He thinks about you late at night, in the silence, when the world has finally gone still. Those are the moments when feelings hit the hardest, when distractions fall away, and he's left with nothing but his own thoughts. And even though he won't say it, you are there, gently living in the background of his mind. Sometimes he scrolls through his phone and finds something that reminds him of you, a photo, a meme, a message, and he smiles, but he doesn't send it. He holds it quietly, as his own secret, because part of him is still figuring out why you're starting to feel like home. These moments are sacred, even if they're silent. Just because he doesn't speak them out loud, doesn't mean they aren't happening. In fact, the thoughts he keeps to himself are often the most sincere, because the things he tells everyone don't require courage. But the feelings he holds back for you, those are the ones that matter most. When a man is more in love with you than he realizes, his protective instincts start to surface in quiet, almost automatic ways. He's not trying to prove anything. He's not performing. He's not thinking, I need to protect her. It simply happens. It's as if some unseen part of him has already decided that your safety, your comfort, and your happiness matter more to him than he understands. And this is when you begin to see the moments where he guards your heart, even if he doesn't realize he's doing it. You'll notice it in the smallest things. He'll instinctively walk on the side closest to traffic. He'll step in front of you in a crowded space, subtly shielding you without saying a word. If someone's speaking to you in a way that seems too harsh or disrespectful, his energy will shift immediately. He'll position himself beside you, between you and whatever's making you uncomfortable, because his body moves before his mind can think. This is not strategy, it's emotional reflex. When you're upset, even if you try to hide it, his attention sharpens. His eyes search your face a little longer. His voice softens as if speaking more gently could fix what's hurting you. He may not always know the perfect thing to say, but what he does know is that he can't sit comfortably when you're not okay. He'll offer his jacket when it's cold. He'll make sure you get home safe. He'll quietly check in without making a big deal about it, because these are his ways of guarding your heart, subtly, consistently, instinctively. Sometimes protection isn't about danger. It's about emotional shelter. He'll start to avoid saying things that might accidentally hurt you. He may be more careful with his words around you, not because he's walking on eggshells, but because somewhere inside, he's realized that your feelings matter to him more than his pride does. He'll defend you in conversations, even when you're not there to hear it. He won't allow people to speak poorly about you. It's not just loyalty. It's protection. It's a quiet declaration that he sees you as someone he's willing to stand up for. When you're around other people, he becomes more alert. You might see him scan the room quickly when you enter, as if he's unconsciously assessing who's there, what's happening, and whether you're okay. He picks up on the small things that make you uncomfortable. The friend who's too loud. The situation that makes you nervous. The way someone's presence changes your body language. And without asking, he adjusts. He steps closer. He guides you away. He makes sure you feel safe, seen and secure. What's most powerful is that he doesn't need to label these actions. He doesn't even think of them as protection. To him, they feel like natural, automatic decisions. But to you, they feel like care, like safety, like being valued in a way that's rare and unspoken. Sometimes he'll challenge you, not to hurt you, but to protect you from settling for less. He'll encourage you to do better, to chase what you deserve, to stop accepting what drains you. He pushes you because deep down he wants to guard your future as much as your present. His protection goes beyond holding your hand. It extends to wanting you to win, to grow, to shine. Even when he's unsure about his own feelings, his body already knows. His instincts already know. He's already guarding your heart, quietly, faithfully, without needing to be asked. And that's how you know you're not just someone he likes. You're someone he's claimed emotionally, even if he hasn't said it yet. There are moments when a man's true feelings escape, slipping past the walls he's carefully built, and he doesn't even realize he's revealed them. These emotional slips are raw, unfiltered, and impossible to control. They come out in the heat of the moment, in conversations where he's caught off guard or in situations where his heart speaks before his mind can stop it. And the thing about these slips is they're honest. They are the purest glimpse into how deeply he feels about you, often long before he's ready to admit it. You might catch it when he's laughing a little too hard at something you said, not because it was that funny, but because you made him genuinely happy in a way that surprised him. Maybe he's used to being guarded, used to keeping things light, but with you, his emotions leak through the cracks. In those small seconds, you'll see it. The way his face softens, the way his voice warms, the way he lets his guard down without thinking. Sometimes it happens when you're talking about something completely unrelated to love, and suddenly he says something that reveals how much he notices you, how much he pays attention, how deeply you've rooted yourself in his world. His true feelings can also come out when he's frustrated, when something shakes him emotionally and he says something protective or possessive before he catches himself. It's in those rare moments when he lets the mask slip and speaks as if you already belong to him, as if you're already a priority in his life. He might not mean to say it, he might even try to backtrack quickly, but the truth already slipped out. His emotions got there before his logic could filter them. There will be times when you're upset or pulling away and he suddenly fights harder than he ever expected to. He might show more intensity, more urgency, more emotion than he thought he was capable of. It's in these moments that he reveals just how much he fears losing you. It's not calculated, it's pure reaction. He didn't plan to show that much care. He didn't plan to change. But the possibility of you walking away pulls something real out of him. Something that was always there, buried under hesitation. Sometimes it's not even about words. It's in the long pauses, the silence that lingers after you say something meaningful. He may open his mouth to speak, stop, and then shake his head, as if he can't find the right words because what he wants to say feels too big to express. You'll feel it, the weight of what he's holding back, the emotion in his eyes that he's not ready to name. These slips are not mistakes. They are the truth surfacing in its rawest form. You might also notice how he gets uncharacteristically nervous when he's emotionally vulnerable. He may try to play it off, quickly change the subject or laugh it away, but the fact that he's rattled says everything. When a man isn't that into you, he doesn't get shaken by his words. But when his feelings run deep, even the accidental confessions can leave him flustered. There will be moments when he calls you his without thinking. Moments when he says things like, "You always make me feel better," or "I don't know what I'd do without you," and then quickly moves on as if he didn't just say something massive. But you'll know, you'll catch it. His emotional slips are the moments where love sneaks out of him, when the words, the tone, the protectiveness, the longing all break through. And no matter how hard he tries to keep it in, love has a way of finding the smallest opening. When you see those slips, don't doubt them. They're the truth his heart has been trying to tell you all along. Sometimes the deepest love is the love a man is most afraid to admit. Not because he doesn't feel it, not because he doubts you, but because love, real love, changes everything. It softens his walls, it forces him to see his own vulnerability, and for many men, that's terrifying. See, love isn't just about happiness for him. Love comes with risk. It comes with the possibility of losing control, of losing you, of losing himself in feelings he can't easily explain or manage. And so even when the love is there, deep, undeniable, and growing, he holds it back. He may love the way you laugh, the way you challenge him, the way you make his life feel lighter, but admitting it out loud feels like stepping off a ledge. It feels like surrendering his power, like handing you the key to the parts of himself he spent years protecting. And here's what's even harder. Maybe in his past, he's been hurt. Maybe he's loved before, and it ended in disappointment, in betrayal, in silence. Maybe he's learned to believe that love is dangerous, that opening his heart will always come with pain. And so even though you're not the person who hurt him, he carries those fears into what he feels for you. There's also the fear of not being enough. Sometimes men won't admit their love because they're afraid they can't give you what you deserve. They look at you and think, what if I fail? What if I disappoint her? What if she leaves? And instead of risking the depth of those emotions, they pull back, they downplay it. They pretend it's not as serious as it is. But their actions, their presence, their instinct to protect you, they all betray them. Some men are afraid of what love will require from them. Love asks for consistency, emotional availability, honesty, and if he's still growing, if he's still unsure of himself, he may wonder if he's capable of giving you that. It's not that he doesn't feel it, it's that he's overwhelmed by what it might demand of him. Loving you would mean showing his flaws, facing his insecurities, letting you see him fully, and that's terrifying if he's used to hiding those parts from the world. And then there's the fear of losing you. Ironically, the stronger his feelings grow, the more afraid he may become. When a man truly loves you, the thought of life without you is unbearable. So sometimes it feels safer to keep those feelings unspoken. Because if he never fully says it, he won't fully lose it. In his mind, silence protects him from heartbreak. But the truth is, silence only delays the inevitable. Because love this deep can't stay hidden forever. When he's afraid to admit his love, it often shows in hesitation. He may pull you closer, then suddenly create distance. He may give you glimpses of deep affection, then retreat just as quickly. It's not because he doesn't care, it's because he cares more than he knows how to handle. The emotional waves inside him are too big, and he hasn't yet figured out how to navigate them. But here's what's real. His fear doesn't mean his love isn't true. Sometimes the men who are the most afraid to admit it are the ones who feel it the deepest. They're the ones who wrestle with it, who fight against it, who try to contain it. But love doesn't shrink to fit inside the walls he's built. It keeps growing, pressing against him, forcing him to choose either to keep running from it or to finally surrender and tell you what his heart has known all along. Sometimes the most beautiful thing about love is when someone finally realizes what's been in their heart all along. When a man is more in love with you than he realizes, it's not your job to convince him. It's about guiding him toward his own truth, letting him feel safe enough to see what's already there. You don't need to chase. You don't need to beg, and you certainly don't need to prove yourself. His feelings are already present. They just need room to rise to the surface. Making him realize what he truly feels is not about forcing a moment. It's about creating space where his emotions can naturally unfold. One of the most powerful things you can do is to be fully present, but never desperate. Show up as the woman who values herself, the woman who loves deeply but never abandons her own worth to earn someone else's affection. Men are drawn to this energy. It's magnetic. When he senses that you care but you're not clinging, he starts to feel safe, leaning into what he feels. When you allow him to miss you, when you give him room to process his emotions, instead of filling every space, you give him the chance to realize what life feels like with and without you. And that contrast is where clarity is born. Sometimes he won't know how much he loves you until he feels the quiet ache of your absence, until he reaches for you and realizes you're not always waiting there. That's when his emotions start knocking on the door of his own awareness. What matters most is that you continue to lead with authenticity. Be honest about how you feel, but don't over-explain or overcompensate. He will start to connect the dots when he sees the consistency of your presence and the strength of your boundary. Love that is both warm and grounded leaves an unforgettable imprint on his heart. It's what makes him start to think, why does she feel so different? Why does being with her feel so right? Why can't I stop thinking about her? He realizes what he truly feels when you mirror his efforts, not his potential. When you match his energy instead of his excuses. When you gently pull back when he's distant, but open your heart when he leans in. This balance gives him the emotional space to figure it out on his own, while still feeling your quiet support. You're not punishing him. You're allowing him to grow into his own awareness. You see, men often find their truth in reflection. When you mirror his inconsistencies, when you protect your peace without drama, he starts to notice what he risks losing. That's when the realization hits him. Not because you told him to feel it, but because you made it safe for him to face it. Sometimes the turning point comes in the most unexpected moments. When you've stopped asking, stopped proving, stopped waiting, he suddenly feels the shift. He feels the absence of your energy, and it stirs something deep inside him. That's when he starts to connect the emotions he's been trying to suppress. What makes him realize what he truly feels is your ability to stay soft, but not small, to stay open but never empty yourself for him. It's your quiet confidence that makes him face his own heart. You're the safe place, but you're also the standard. And when he finally sees that, he begins to understand that you are not just someone he likes. You are the person his heart has been choosing all along. The most lasting love is the love a man chooses without pressure, without deadlines, and without fear. Give him the space to choose you. When he does, it won't be a hesitant decision. It will be a clear, undeniable realization, and it will be the beginning of something real.